I know I've said before that I created this channel to face my fears and all that, but throughout my coverage of multiple projects, I've never really faced that fear factor. It was always dulled down by the mystery within these stories. But tonight, I can say for the first time that I have been genuinely unsettled by a series to the point where I just could not bring myself to watch it all in one go. String Theory TV is an analog horror project created in December of 2021, and since then has set up a mystery revolving around mind control, government cover-ups, cults, and even cephalopods. But first things first, you all know the drill by now. Link to the channel is down below, return here when you've finished, yada yada yada. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's dive right on into it. Serving as the pilot episode for our exploration, regularly scheduled programming really sets things up right off the bat. Just your ordinary television station. Alright, so admittedly the first video is probably the weakest out of this bunch, but it does begin to pave the way for some larger mystery at hand. Who or what is the wolf? What will not be overcome? Questions that will become more important going forward. But for right now, let us just continue on to the next video. Nightly News opens up with an introduction to our news anchor, Alistair Lightbear.
Good evening, my name is Alistair Lightbear. Tonight, we'll be taking a look at mental health, one of the most confusing and misunderstood topics of our time. A recent study suggests that 1 in 4 adults with mental health issues. We'll now ha.
The Wolf Corporation, huh? Interesting. Well, there are a lot of, I'll say, on-the-nose bits about this episode. It sets up this idea that these videos are not all that they seem to be. If we're watching an illusion, then can we even trust these videos at all, or does it mean just this one video is an illusion? That's not to mention the other little subtle clues that were hidden throughout this video, such as Project Red Nose written on Alistair's paper, the name Anna Panzer showing up mirrored, and the mirrored Japanese text at the beginning. Shout out to Ezra Bradford, one of the super sleuths in the community, who went ahead and translated the Japanese text, discovering that it was mirrored. It reads, "Still stuck in a loop?" Which is probably a reference to some sort of time loop thing that we're not quite sure about as of right now. Good detective work, Ezra. Here's a gold star for you. Commercial break is where things really pick up, showing us an infomercial for, well, you'll see.
Have you ever felt all alone and by yourself? Well, now you don't have to. With The Thing.
Wow.
I love the thing. It helps me remember stuff.
Sticks with you all the time. He's always on your mind. To use properly, apply The Thing directly to the forehead. Trying to forget all the mistakes that you made? Don't worry, The Thing will help you remember all of them. The Thing channels your intrusive thoughts and helps you to obsess over things that you have done wrong.
Call 555-LOOP today. That's 555-LOOP. 555-LOOP.
Oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. It seems as though this thing is used as some sort of mind control device to take over people's willpower to think for themselves, almost creating a hive mind mentality. But the question still remains, who or what is controlling these things? Could it possibly be the Wolf Corporation, or something bigger? When that eye appeared in the middle of the ring light, that was enough for me to pause my 1 a.m. watch and just say, nope, I'm done for now, and decide to watch the rest in the morning. Commercial break is such a step up from the prior two videos, and it feels as though the creator has finally found their stride with this series. But would you believe me if I said it only gets better from here? A guide to intrusives is exactly what it sounds like. An informational video on a very unique category of species known as intrusives, and how humanity can go about coexisting with these creatures. Hey, it's Editor Astro here. So it's currently 12:30 in the morning, and I don't know how I missed this. But Alistair Lightbear's name is in the credits for this Guide to Intrusives video. So I don't know if that means that he's the narrator, or if he just, I don't know, worked on the program and the narrator was somebody else. I don't know. It might come up later in the theorizing part. It might not. I'm very tired and I don't know what's happening right now.
Of all the creatures that exist on our tiny planet, none are quite so curious as the intrusives. These unique animals appeared on our planet not long ago, and have shown us that us humans are not the only intelligent beings in our vast universe. We will now examine the list of several known intrusives that are here with us as we speak. The first of these incredible creatures is known as the Thing. The Thing is a type of land cephalopod located in various parts of North America. The Thing has one eye and 3 tentacles, which it uses to strangle its prey. Contrary to the previous point, the thing is a docile creature and will certainly not jump out at you. I repeat, it will not jump out at you. Like other cephalopods, the thing is able to release ink from its body. However, rather than using it as an escape mechanism, the thing uses its ink to confuse its victims. The ink is known to cause hallucinations and intensify intrusive thoughts. Victims with obsessive-compulsive disorder or similar mental health conditions are most susceptible to experiencing these side effects. The next creature on this list is known as Wishbone. This jolly creature can be found in various portions of Canada and has been known to stalk people at nighttime. But don't worry, this creature has not... Exactly. Around and has an arm that is split into two halves, much like the wishbone of a turkey. Keep in mind, though, you would not want to have Thanksgiving dinner with one of these creatures if you spot it. Another notable feature about this creature is its gaping jaw that hangs and dangles from its mouth. If you happen to spot one of these creatures out in the wild, please contact the Wolf Corporation immediately. And finally, the last of these peculiar creatures is... Now, the loop is the most confusing of these creatures. The reason being that no one has actually seen it, or at least no one in real life has. But people have mentioned having dreams of this creature, or seeing him in visions and in their imaginations. Many people recall seeing this creature at one point in their life, but oddly enough, don't exactly remember where. But what they do know is that when they encountered this creature, their mind... Whenever they came upon this creature, their minds would start to spin in circles, and their thoughts would get confused, and they would not be able to focus on one thing at a time, and it seems like their thoughts were going around in circles, and they weren't able to get out of this mental loop, and it seemed that this creature caused these people to get into a mental loop, and it seemed like this creature caused these people to get into a mental loop, and it seemed like
Well, that certainly took a turn. Okay, let's unpack this nightmare. The first intrusive we're introduced to is the Thing, who we've already met through the infomercial video. However, we're given a bit more information on these little guys, like how they can shoot out ink like a normal octopus as a means to hallucinate and confuse its prey, and it definitely, 100%, under any circumstances, will not jump out at you. Throughout the series, the topic of mental health has been brought up numerous times, and here it's mentioned how those who suffer from things such as OCD or similar conditions are more likely to hallucinate from the Thing's ink effects. While we are being given information about the Wishbone, the Smiling House reappears, causing the video to glitch and distort.
Anna is safe, yet you still killed her. She will receive...
Before we're told who Anna is and exactly what she'll be receiving, the video plays normal again as we're told more information about the physical features of the Wishbone, which honestly really reminds me of the Mimic from Vita Carnis in certain aspects. It's here where we're told that if we spot a Wishbone in the wild, we should call the number on screen immediately. At first the text reads contact us at 555-5667 before quickly changing and telling us to contact the Wolf Corporation at that number. I think that makes it a pretty clear-cut case that the Wolf Corporation is behind this specific video. Finally, we are introduced to the final intrusive, the loop. The loop seems to be a bit more of a complicated matter. It appears to be more of a tall tale than anything else, although judging by what happened to our narrator, I'd say it's more than just a myth. As we cut away from our educational video, we're shown a video feed of what seems to be a cephalopod creature, reminiscent in size to that of the Kraken from old pirate tales. As the creature cries out, we can hear banging over the security footage, and from the sounds of screaming, I think it's safe to assume that our narrator is done for. The second half of our text appears, and we finally know what the Smile House was trying to say. That Anna will receive her deliverance. While we still don't know who exactly Anna is, we can assume that from the text that her life was taken from her, either from the individual viewing these tapes or the Wolf Corporation themselves. It actually might be quite possible that the Smiling House is a representation of the loop, and that the loop is blaming the Wolf Corporation for what happened to Anna. Our next video, the riddle, is set around a television show segment where a riddle is read live on air. It only takes a minute for the atmosphere to change from warm and welcoming to severely uncomfortable.
Each week we pick a riddle sent in by you, the audience, and read it live on air. For example, what's black, white, and red all over? Silly, that's easy. A dead raccoon. The first person to correctly guess the answer via a letter sent to our P.O. box will receive $1,000. But if you guess incorrectly, oh!
In these groups, all types of behavior are tolerated, and Henry's isolation does not evoke comment or derision.
Are you ready, kids? Wow, you kids are dumb and do not have very good timing. Let's get on with the show. All right, are you ready for the first riddle? Can't make out her last name. A little blurry there. But it's sent in by Anna, and here's the riddle. I made them boil, and yet they still froze. I lie dormant, undetected by most, yet my fury is swift as I strangle my...
They will succumb to his mercy. They will ascend to his plan. The meadow is a farce. The meadow is a farce. Those who suffer here will receive peace, and those who do not suffer will take their place. I must complete my mission, so she may receive. Heed this warning. Heed this warning. For deliverance. For deliverance. For deliverance.
Ever since Nightly News, mentions of mental health have been playing into this story in a multitude of ways, such as the news segments, people with these conditions being more susceptible to the things Inc., and now mention of those who suffer finding peace. For whatever reason, this entity, as it's called, is attempting to overtake those who are afflicted with these sorts of conditions, and punish those who are less likely to fall into the hive mind of whatever this thing is. I believe that String Theory TV, while being told in a fantastical way, is a story about struggling with your inner demons. However, unlike how AI builds deals with the struggles of a single individual on a personal level, String Theory TV is taking a different approach by, in my opinion, turning the same idea into a revenge story. I'll get more into my theories and ideas after the final video, but for now, just know that I believe that the Anna whose name we've been seeing throughout the series is both the victim and the villain of this story. Associate's training video begins with your standard introductory videotape, welcoming us to the Wolf Corporation, introducing us to the job where we will be working with patients who suffer from a multitude of mental health disorders. However, shortly after listening to a couple of these cases, the tape quickly goes off the rails.
In this new role, you will be working with children who suffer from a variety of mental disorders. Some of the patients you will work with may have one or more of the following conditions: obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD, panic attacks, trauma.
Welcome, new associate. Welcome, new associate. We are pleased that you have chosen to become a part of the Wolf Corporation family. Here at Wolf Corp,
our goal is to ensure that children
with psychological disabilities receive the proper new role as a physical service provider. You will be working with children who suffer mental disorders. Some of the patients you will work with may have one or more of the following conditions: obsessive-compulsive disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, mental disorders. Some of the patients you will work with may have one or more of the following conditions: OCD, panic attacks, trauma, schizophrenia, and
Electroshock therapy may be recommended for other disorders.
you have tears in your eyes? Is that a beautiful experience, would you say?
I would say yes.
Describe it again.
Oh, I don't know. It's just giving and...
Well, it looks like the Wolf Corporation isn't all they say they are. The mention of electroshock therapy within this video about helping those who suffer from mental health problems really makes me think that the Wolf Corporation has much more sinister intentions than we first thought. The ending, where we see people standing in front of some sort of giant eye, makes me believe that these people who go through electric shock therapy are being sacrificed to this thing through the Wolf Corporation, represented by the figure showing praise to the eye. There's a couple other things in this video that seem as if they're connected, but I just can't put my finger on it. Like the canoe scene about halfway through the video, or the words flesh prison being crossed out. I'm not sure how it relates, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably something we'll learn later down the line. So we have an evil corporation within the mental health field who are seemingly treating their patients with electroshock therapy as opposed to providing them with proper care, possibly in order to weaken their minds in such a state where a giant eyeball can affect their minds in some way. Now this was going to be the part of the video where I collected all that we've gathered so far and see what kind of story we have laid out for us. Then, well, life got complicated. A good sort of complicated, don't get me wrong, but complicated nonetheless. It was during this time where String Theory TV came back from its hiatus and treated us to not one, but 2 new videos. The video Threads is similar to the video that preceded it, but I'll let you watch it play out for yourself.
We are all strings. Vibrations. Rhythm. We are all interconnected. Everything around us, life as we know it, is made up of atoms. Those atoms are made up of neutrons, protons, and electrons. These are the particles that create the fabric of reality itself. The fabric, an interdimensional plane that divides our reality, is truly fascinating. Upon closer speculation, we can deduce that the further we shrink, the more of a likelihood it is that our world and theirs will collide. And what lies beyond the fabric, you may ask? Psychosia, your one-way ticket to paradise. While we cannot enter the domain by ordinary means, if we can go below the atom, the possibilities for otherworldly exploration become unlimited.
In music, bending a string causes the note that is played to shift. The airwaves react.
I want to go home.
I'll take you home pretty soon.
I want to go now.
This will only take a minute.
Are we in control of our own actions, or is there a greater force pulling the strings? What would happen if we bent the strings? Of reality itself?
Displays signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and some eating.
Daddy, can't you hear your mama, please? Your kitchen is the one thing that I need. Oh, how I wish I had gone since you left me alone. I wonder if I did wish I didn't come along.
That was stellar. This video's gotta be my absolute favorite of the bunch. It connects some dots, it expands the world, and it just adds more evidence to some of the ideas we theorized about earlier. We're shown that the loop isn't just some god or deity the Wolf Corporation has unleashed, but a creature from an alternate dimension known as Psychosia, slowly but surely crossing over into our very own plane of existence by plucking on the strings of reality. And then we come to what I feel like is almost definitive proof of my theory about the lore in this entire story. The red text.
How does it feel? You lost him for the second time. You kissed your future with a black tongue, and traded it for a pig in a mansion. I just want to ask you, was it worth it, Mama?
And it's here where I put the cherry on top of my theory. This horrific, disfigured, elongated creature is Anna. Finally, we've arrived at the end of this series. The last installment, at least at the time of writing, titled She Waits, is a bit different than the rest. Where the rest of these videos played out like most analog horror videos do, this one is specifically labeled as a short film. Let's see what this short film has in store for us.
Alistair? That guy was a loon. He was always coming up with these weird ideas. He claimed his experiments were for the good of the kiddos, but, no one was hearing it. I haven't heard or spoken to him since, but, after he got fired, I heard things got much worse when his daughter died.
Oh, Alistair, yeah. Well, I would say overall, in general, he had like a very sincere heart, but his methods were really unorthodox. A lot of us here at the institution did not agree with his methods. They just seemed a bit cruel. But overall, he seemed like he genuinely cared about the kids, but yeah, he was kind of a misfit.
Once upon a time, a little girl lived with her mother in a small stone cottage near the edge of a great forest. Everywhere the little girl would go, she always wore a beautiful red cape and hood. Soon she became known by everyone as Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, her mother asked her to carry a basket of cookies to her grandmother. Her mother told her not to leave the path or stop to talk to anyone on the way. Grandmother lived in a little yellow house at the other edge of the wood, and Red Riding Hood would have to hurry to return home before dark. After waving goodbye to her mother, she set out at once, carrying her little yellow basket.
What a fantastic video. Not just from a lore-wise perspective, but in terms of just filmmaking in general. The lighting, the editing, and the storytelling were all top-notch as far as I'm concerned. We also get a little bit more of an insight to Alistair Lightbear, and how after the passing of his daughter, who I think it's safe to assume is Anna, seemed to go off the deep end in a big way. And it's here where we can finally put a face to Mama, whose name is revealed to be Reese at the end of the credits. Finally, after all of this, it's time to talk about what I believe is happening within the world of string theory TV. Keep in mind, this is all just a theory from what events we've witnessed within the web series, so if a few things don't line up perfectly, or future installments don't really support what I believe is happening, then that's on me and not the creator. There once was a small family: Alistair Lightbear, his wife Reese, and their daughter Anna. From an early age, Anna began showing signs of mental health disorders, specifically OCD and schizophrenia. Alistair begins searching for ways to help Anna deal with, and maybe even help cure, her condition by creating a multitude of tests and experiments for his own patients at the Meadow Corporation. Eventually, the Meadow Corporation was either merged with or began working side by side with the Wolf Corporation. And when his new higher-ups began questioning his specific methods, Alistair would state that all of his actions were for the good of the children. But this reason wasn't enough, and he was promptly fired from the Meadow Corporation. Reese, meanwhile, did not handle the situation well. Between Alistair losing his job and the stress of parenting a child like Anna, I believe that Reese began to grow cold towards both her husband and her daughter. Over time, the couple began to grow more and more distant from one another. Stress, financial disputes, and frustrations would build, and soon enough it just became too much for either one of them to bear. Alistair and Reese promptly split up, with Reese gaining custody of Anna and reverting her last name to that of her mother's maiden name, Panzer. After the divorce, Reese was never happy, and would constantly blame Anna and her mental health for all the wrongs in her own life. If she ever tried to find solace in other intimate relationships, they would always end for one reason or another. Whether that was because of who Reese was as a person, or the fact that they just did not want to deal with a child like Anna. Either way, I believe that Reese started to blame Anna for her own misfortune, and began abusing Anna in a multitude of ways, including beating her with a hairbrush. Eventually, however, it all became too much, and Reese brought Anna in for an evaluation at the Wolf Corporation. After being seen, the Wolf Corporation offered to help Anna, and gave Reese the chance to admit her daughter into their programs. Seeing this as a way to be free from what she believed had brought so much suffering into her own life, Reese agrees and leaves Anna into the care of the Wolf Corporation, possibly even against her daughter's own wishes in order to go quote-unquote live her best life, or whatever sort of nonsense parents who abandon their children say. But there was nothing that Anna could do. Her mother had abandoned her, and she would not forget. As treatments for Anna began, the young girl discovered that these methods were less than civilized. In fact, they were outright heinous. You see, the Wolf Corporation may have had a warm and caring reputation in the eyes of the public, but internally the company held a dark secret. Their methods for curing mental disabilities were barbaric at best, and downright evil at worst. The use of electroshock therapy, mental manipulation, and other heinous tactics were a daily occurrence throughout the facility. Throughout her stay, Anna is tortured by the Wolf Corporation. But through all the pain, the suffering, and the agony, Anna never forgot the hatred that she had grown for her mother. The woman who had blamed her for her own misery, the woman who had abused her, and the woman who had abandoned her. But human torture was not the only thing the Wolf Corporation was hiding from the public eye. Deep within the Wolf Corporation, scientists had discovered an alternate reality known as Psychosia, lying just below our own atoms. And within this alternate reality lies a creature, known only as the Loop, a single-eyed Lovecraftian cephalopod with the ability to take over one's mind. The Wolf Corporation, being a corporate entity within an analog horror series, wishes to bring this entity into our own reality for whatever nefarious reasons. When the Wolf Corporation discovered that the Loop possesses the ability to overtake and control minds, they began experimenting on their own patients by using the electroshock therapy treatment in order to dull their patient's brain enough so that the Loop can gain control without resistance. Many were offered up to the Loop, as depicted in the Associates training video. One of these victims was young Anna herself. But then something unexpected happened. Instead of being turned into just another vessel, it seems that for whatever reason, the Loop felt compassion towards Anna, promising her that she will receive deliverance from the hardships that she had endured. While the Loop brings peace to those who suffered from TWC and the Meadow Corporation, I believe it also granted Anna the ability to take revenge on her mother for leaving her in the hands of torturers to be sacrificed. Anna was no longer a scared little girl, but had become an angry, monstrous creature known as the Wishbone, hell-bent on tormenting Reese for all that she had been put through. I don't exactly know where Reese is in the final video, But between the corroded concrete walls and the orange clothing, I think it's safe to say that she's probably ended up in a prison for one reason or another, haunted by her past actions towards her daughter. I believe that she truly regrets her actions and the monster that she's created, but Anna doesn't. Obviously, everything about this theory is just speculation on my end, but I believe that it's the most probable explanation. I even asked the creator, Abe Lucky, if the wishbone was more of a species of creature, or if it was more of a cryptid where there's only one of them. The response I got really made the theory of Anna being the wishbone stick in my brain as being the correct answer. I hope that I'm right, but no matter what the creator does with this story, it's been an awesome, terrifying journey all the same. A tale of neglect, abuse, and an interdimensional cephalopod deity, String Theory TV has some astounding attributes that I always love to see in projects like these. Abe has crafted a beautifully haunting story that, while a little tropey at times, really draws you in and keeps you invested every step of the way. Go subscribe to the String Theory TV channel, keep an eye out for future videos, and give this criminally underrated creator the attention and love that they deserve. I know I will. Thank you to Abe Lucky for creating String Theory TV, and a truly heartfelt thank you to every one of you watching this video. Your support has meant the world to me, and I promise your support will not go unrewarded. More videos are on the way, and now that things have settled down in Casa de Astro, they'll be coming sooner than you expect. Until next time, I'll see you around.